And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Today we're looking at a game called Hetrix. Hetrix is a game from Korea, and it involves connecting hexagons to each other to form strings of jewels. Now there's a decent amount of these games where you connect stuff together to form rows of colored thingamabobs. I've not played one like this though. It will have some similarities maybe to other games. In this game you're trying to make strands, and you actually have a bit of interactiveness to this game where you can try to mess up your opponent's grid. You're building your own grid in front of you, but you can try to mess up your opponent's. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Let's do it. There's a pile of special link tiles at the beginning of the game that players will get, and these tiles have 3 of 2 different colors on them. And so you can see the different colors of the game. They're also different shapes in case you have color blindness, but you can see there's red, green, yellow, blue, purple, and orange are the different colors. And so you get one of these, and then each round of the game, players are going to get 5 tiles drawn from a mix of tiles that they'll have. And so what players are going to do with these tiles is they're going to, once you start the first round, you're going to place these tiles into some sort of grid. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to place them so that you're making rows of the same colors. So here, let's see. Let's say I made this. Okay, so I made that. And there's actually a rule in the game that lets you take one of your tiles and place it into the person to your left's grid once they're done with their tiles, kind of trying to mess them up. But what you are trying to do in this game is you are trying to make rows of one color. So you can see here that I have a row of blue, which is worth 4 points because I have 4 of them. And I have a row of red, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 reds there, that would be worth 9. Here I have 3 oranges, but that does not count because you have to have at least 4 of a color to count. Now if I make another string of a color, let's say later on I was able to make a long string here of blues over here on the side, then I would add that string to this. Now these are actually the link tiles. I wouldn't get those. Those are those. You only get one of those to start with. But it is possible, and there's lots of different tiles in the game. There's also some white tiles, white jewels there. Those are wild, so those can be used as any of the strings. Each turn, you'll keep track of your strings and see how much points you have. But after the 5th round of play, the game is going to end and you're going to get points. And whoever has the most points wins, but there's also a 3-point bonus for whoever has the longest string of each color jewel. So the longest green one gets 3 points, the longest yellow one 3 points, orange 3 points, red 3 points, etc. And that's how you play. Hetrix is a really interesting game. But there's something, if you watch my reviews at all, you know that I am a big interactive guy. I like to bam in your face if possible. I like that. But in this game it drives me nuts because it just, I don't know. I think, in fact, I played it without that rule just to see what would happen, and the game seems perfectly fine without it, where you just sit there and build your own thing. So I guess you could house rule it out. It just feels odd, but the idea itself is really fun because you don't have to worry. There's not restrictions on how you line these up, like, you know, in Carcassonne where they have to meet all sides, because if you did that, you'd have a hard time ever getting them in there. But at the same time, trying to match up the different lines, it's fun because you can sit there and say, okay, I can make a long orange one here, or if I go over here, I can make a red and a green line, which might get me more points in the long run. Going for those longest bonuses can be the matter of winning the game or not at the end too. Yeah, there's luck in the tiles you draw. Some tiles are obviously better than others. Any tile with a wild color on it can be really handy to have. Tiles with that extra jewel in the middle where you can kind of cut across the middle, those are also really nice too. And the whole thing, the quality of the tiles is good. They feel good. It looks really pretty on the table. If you're a fan of abstracts at all, I really think you'll like this one. It comes in a bag with a zipper, so you can carry around just this Hetrix bag itself rather than putting it into the box. And I liked it. I mean, I'm kind of a fan of tile games anyway, where you place things down and see how they look. But I really like ones that look really cool when you're done, and this one was fun. in essence, I mean, you could even play a solitaire version of this, trying to get different points. The interaction allows it to be more than just a work on your own thing, throw a tile on someone else's, but usually you're going to try to think about how you can put that tile on your own. But the interaction is there, so it's up to you. You can even ignore it if you want to, but the person to your right, who you are there left to, may not feel so, and then they're going to come after your grid, and you might have that nice long line of blue going, and they cut it right off, and that cuts you off from the longest bonus and from getting more points in blue from that tiles. So, interesting game. Certainly one I thought was fairly unique in how it was laid out and placed, and that's Hetrix.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.
Shut the door!
That's right. Shut it.
There.